What's up, everybody? It's MrDoTheMath here, and today I want to talk about order of operations. But I want to look at the importance of parentheses, particularly when we're dealing with our powers, right? So there is a huge difference between -8 to the second power and quantity of -8 to the second power, right? So basically what's going on here is this -8 without parentheses is like one of those situations where these two are together but don't nobody know it. So what happens is this -1 separates, or this -1 does its own thing, and this 8 does its own math. It does its own thing, and then they come back together at the end, okay? When there is no parentheses. When there is a parentheses, the -8, the negative sign and the 8 move together. So what happens is you have -8 times -8 here, right? Whereas here, you had the negative sign did its thing, and then the -8 multiplied into itself, right? And then they came together, right? So there's the difference, right? When you have a negative sign and no parentheses, when it's raised to a power, this sign is always negative. However, as opposed to when you have a negative sign in parentheses, whether it becomes negative or positive is based on the number of times that this number here. If it's even, it's always going to be positive. If it's odd, it's going to be negative. But it's because you're just multiplying the negative number into itself a certain number of times. So let's look at some examples, right? If I have -4 to the second power, again, this negative sign moves along, and this 4 does its own thing, 4 times 4. So you end up with -16, okay? What about this? This is -3 times -3, which gives you your 9. Number 3, you got -5 to the third power. I love this one because this takes this a step further, right? So -5 to the third power is actually -5 times -5 times -5. So you do the math, -5 times -5 is +25 times another -5 gives you your -125, okay? All right, now let's take the same skill and put it in a math expression, right? Same skill and put it in a math expression, okay? So let's look at this example here. -2 times -4 to the second power, all right? It's in parentheses, so they're gonna do their thing together, so it's gonna be -2 times 16, right? Then you do this multiplication. So these steps here we're here for a reason. Order of operations. First step, parentheses or grouping symbols. Then exponents. Then multiplication or division in order from left to right. And then addition or subtraction in order from left to right. What often happens is when we have a problem, people will multiply before they raise to a power. Always raise to the power first, right? So here you should have got -32, but what people will usually get is an 8 raised to the second power gets 64, right? Because they multiply first. Always raise to the power first. All right, let's look at this example here. We got 6 minus -4 all over -2. Where did I get 6 from? -2 times 4 plus 3, right? This is a fraction. Each level, the numerator and the denominator is its own math problem, and then you bring it back together. All right, so first things first, you got these double negatives, right? Negative times a negative, right, becomes a positive, so it looks like this. I'm gonna just rewrite the problem, right? So now we got 6 plus 4 gives you your 10, and then you got your -2 times 4, which is 8, right? -8 plus 3. All right, continue working. We got this -8 plus 3 is going to give us our -5, and then reduce or simplify, and that's going to give us our -2, right? So here, this is not multiplication. Oftentimes when we're in the mindset of doing multiplication, we're always thinking about multiplication, but this turns into an addition problem, okay? Let's go a little bit further. Look at number 8. Looking at number 8. Number 8 looks like this. 7 minus quantity of -1 plus 4 to the second power. All right? Now, as you see, this problem is a whole lot of math to do. Don't get excited. Follow your steps. First step, are there any parentheses? Yes. So we're going to work parentheses first. -1 plus 4 is going to give us our 3 to the second power. Just rewrite the rest of the problem. The next thing, are there exponents? There are exponents. Since there are exponents, you do exponents. So it'll be 7, bring that minus sign down. 3 to the second power is 9. And finally, you see if there's multiplication or division. No. Addition or subtraction. There's subtraction. So you subtract -2, right? Different sign, subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger number. Then you'll be exact. Good. And let's look at our last example, and then I'm gonna let you go. Last example looks like this. All right, this one that throws us off all the time. 2 plus 3 times the quantity of 1 plus 4. Now, many of us will get excited and add this up. Don't do that, right? First thing you got to do is follow the steps. Is there parentheses? Yes, this goes first. 1 plus 4, that's gonna give us 5. Next step, get excited. You multiply here, you add here. No. Is there addition? Is there an exponent? No exponent. So then we do multiplication, right? That's number 2. So then we get 2 plus 15, right? And then finally you add 17. Okay. That was a quick crash course of a more focused lesson on order of operations, right? We're looking at the significance of parentheses, right? And so you're looking at the significance of parentheses, but you're really focusing on respecting the steps. So if you respect the steps, you shall always, most of the time, get the correct answer. Again, if you have any more questions, comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. MrDoTheMath out.